Now let's look at what China's main geopolitical rival is up to, the United States of America. Their President Joe Biden was in Israel yesterday. He got back early this morning. It was a visit that lasted 8 hours. And in those 8 hours, he held a marathon of talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with Israel's wartime cabinet, and with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Basically everyone who was ready to talk to him. Then there were the speeches. Biden tried to show that he was walking a tightrope, that he was firmly behind Israel, but also cared about Palestinian civilians. And to display this, he kept focusing on one thing: humanitarian relief and aid to Gaza. And after he left Israel, Biden insisted that his talks with Israel were quote-unquote blunt.
I was very blunt about the need to support getting humanitarian aid to Gaza, get it to Gaza and do it quickly. Up to 20 trucks. This has been a very blunt negotiation I've had. And I was, as you well, they probably told you, I was very blunt with the Israelis. Because look, Israel has been badly victimized, but you know, the truth is that if they have an opportunity to relieve suffering of people who have nowhere to go, they're going to be, it's what they should do.
He kept repeating that word, blunt. He made it a point to let everyone know about his bluntness, about his insistence on getting aid to innocent Palestinians. So has the aid delivery started yet? Well, not yet. It's expected to begin tomorrow. And it may not last very long either, because there's a catch.
The people of Gaza need food, water, medicine, shelter. Today I asked the Israeli cabinet, who I met with for some time this morning, to agree to the delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza, based on the understanding that there will be inspections and that the aid should go to civilians, not to Hamas. Israel agreed the humanitarian assistance can begin to move from Egypt to Gaza. Let me be clear, if Hamas diverts or steals the assistance, they will have demonstrated once again that they have no concern for the welfare of the Palestinian people. And it will end. As a practical matter, it will stop the international community from being able to provide this aid.
Hamas is the ruling regime in Gaza. They hold the ordinary Palestinians hostage. They use them as human shields. And yet, you expect them to allow aid to get freely distributed. Hamas has a long history of profiteering from anything coming into Gaza. They've imposed taxes and cuts. And that has made Hamas leaders millionaires. Are these people going to stay away from the aid? It sounds like a bad, cruel joke, or worse, mere tokenism. Hamas is not going to keep its hands off the aid, meaning the US and Israel will stop aid delivery soon enough, and we're back to square one. And Biden probably knows all of this, which is why he made some other promises as well.
Today, I'm also announcing $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank. This money will support more than 1 million displaced and conflict-affected Palestinians, including emergency needs in Gaza.
Yes, that's Biden's solution. $100 million. Throw money at the problem and hope it goes away. And this is money that he doesn't even have. You may remember the headlines before this war began. The US was staring at a government shutdown. They had a budget limit, and they'd crossed that limit. So they had no money to run the government. And lawmakers barely managed to sign an interim deal. That deal was only for 45 days. It ends next month. And amid all of this, Biden promises $100 million to Palestine. He wants the world to believe that he will somehow convince American lawmakers, and he will somehow also ensure that the money doesn't go to Hamas. It's mission impossible, and Joe Biden is not Tom Cruise. His statement seems disingenuous, and that's putting it mildly. In the meantime, if some aid, however little, does go to the innocents in Gaza, it will be a relief. Till it does, there's the saying, talk is cheap, especially blunt talk.